This is a circular slider. Sliders are a common UI element, but we're taking it up a notch with this circular design. Now, why a circular slider, you might ask? Circular sliders offer a unique and visually appealing way for users to input values or make selections. Think of it as a volume control knob or a brightness control knob, providing a seamless and intuitive user experience. Whether you're working on a music app, a game, or enhancing your website's design, this circular slider is a versatile element that can add both style and functionality to your projects. I created a basic HTML file with some mandatory tags like head, title, and body tags. I also styled the body by setting its width and height to 100%, removed the default margin and padding, and given a background to it. Next, I created the center element, which contains all other elements. This element is just for video purpose only. Next, create a slider element, inside which create a knob element, which is used for controlling the slider, inside which create a rotator element with a text element for the progress value as shown. Then create the pointer element, inside which create an icon for a pointer. I used play icon for it. Next, style the center element by setting its width and height to 100% and align its children using display flex. Next, style the slider element using its width and height and align its children using display flex and also set its position to relative. Next, style the knob element. Style it by setting the width, height, and background. Apply border radius of 50% to create circle. Make sure to set position absolute so that it does not overlap with the progress bar that will be added further. And align the knob element to the center of the slider by setting the top, left, and applying transformations. Next, align its children using display flex. Next, style the rotator element. Style it by setting the width, height, and the background, then apply border radius of 50% to make it a circle. Next, apply box shadow to give it a depth effect as shown. Then align its child element to mid-left using display flex. Next, style the text element by setting its width, height, and providing margin. Next, set the font properties, color, and border. Then align the text to center using display flex. Next, style the pointer element. Style it by setting the position absolute so that it does not overlap with the rotator element. Background red is for visualization purpose only. Next, set the width and height and position it to the center by setting the top and left properties. Align the icon to mid-left using display flex. Next, transform the origin to the center of the knob such that the pointer is rotated along the center. And as the path of the slider starts from -45 degrees to 225 degrees, rotate the pointer by -45 degrees. Now remove the background red and set the width accordingly. Next, style the pointer icon by setting its font size and direction. We can observe that the pointer icon is overlapping with the rotator, so to fix this, set the z-index of the rotator element to 1. Now, once the knob is completed, then create an SVG element of width and height 300 and circle with center at 150 and radius of 140. Now, similar to the first circle, create another circle inside the SVG. Next, set the fill to none for the circle. Then style the first circle by setting the stroke, which acts as a path for the slider. Set the stroke width, and as mentioned before, a quadrant of the circle has to be removed for the slider. To make it, we use stroke-array property. The value of this can be found out by trial and error method as shown, or it can be found by calculating the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r, where r is the radius of the circle. This value is approximately 880. Now, a 25% of this has to be removed, after which is 660. Next, transform the origin to the center and rotate the circle by 135 degrees as shown, and set the stroke line cap to round. Now, similarly style the second circle, which acts as a progress indicator. To display the progress, set the stroke-array to 100%, that is 880, and use stroke-offset property. Its value is calculated by the following formula. As the progress percent is changed, the slider progress gets changed accordingly. Initially, we set the progress to 0, and it is dynamically changed later using JavaScript. Once the slider has been designed, add an ID to the second circle as circle 2 inches and write the script. Create some variables in which first one is for the knob, second one is for the circle, third one is for the pointer element, fourth one is for the text element, fifth one is rotating is a flag that defines whether the slider is rotating or not. Next, add an event listener to detect when the mouse is down. We can see that the message is being logged when mouse is clicked. Next, we need to check whether the knob is being clicked or not. For this, if condition is added as shown. Now we can see the message being logged only when the knob is clicked. Set the is rotating flag true when the knob is clicked. Next, add another event listener to detect when the mouse is moved, and perform rotate knob function. Now this is the function we need to work on. Next, create the rotate knob function and perform any action only if the is rotating flag is true. Next, we need to calculate the center coordinates of the knob using the getBoundingClientRect function as shown. We can observe the center of the knob being logged. The logic behind is that we calculate the angle between the center of the knob and current mouse position and update the pointer and circle progress accordingly. So to calculate the angle, we first find the difference between the center of knob and the mouse coordinates. We can see the values as the mouse is moved. Next, calculate the angle using delta 10 and delta y with atan2 function. This will result in radians, so convert it to degrees as shown. We can observe the angles as the mouse is moved along the circle. Next, update the pointer angle with the angle we calculated. We can observe that there is a clear difference between the targeted angle and rotated angle. To fix this, make the change in angle as shown. Here 135 is subtracted for the 135 degrees that is rotated with the circle, and 45 degrees is subtracted for the 45 degrees rotated with the pointer. Next, convert the angle to range of 0 to 360 and update the pointer angle as shown. Next, calculate the progress percent by dividing the rotation angle with 270 as the slider moves from 0 to 270 degrees only. Then update the stroke dash offset of the circle with the progress percent value as shown. We can observe that there is an overflow in the slider. This can be fixed by setting a condition such that the updation of pointer and circle should happen only if the rotation angle is less than or equal to 270 degrees. Next, update the text element with the progress percent. We can observe that the slider is being rotated even after the mouse is up. To fix this, add an event listener to detect the mouse up event and set the is rotating to false. Now we can observe that the text and the icon is being selected when the slider is dragged. To fix this, set the user select property to none for the slider element. Finally, add the gradient properties to the SVG to make a gradient progress bar as shown. You can find the SVG in the code whose link is mentioned in the description. If you find this tutorial useful, then subscribe to the channel.